Um, yeah, there are many ways uh people can lose weight. Many ways. There's not just one way, and not just one way works for everyone. But I've never been overweight, never been fat per se. There were times where I stopped going to the gym and I looked a little bit out of shape. I wouldn't say fat. Um, Reason why I started working out is because I had this big belly for the longest time. It's the only reason why I started working out, and since then I've been trying to get rid of it. Maybe it's just something that's you know genetic, I guess. But I have lost weight, look more fit, muscular. Do my thing at the gym, eat a lot better. Um, the things that I would say work for me is fasting. Um, Fasting. The fast that I do, it's not about starving yourself. It's more about self discipline, and to also intake less calories, and it has worked for me. Uh, it varies the way I do it, but currently what I'm doing is it's like a pyramid. Uh, Beginning of March, for the first week, I do a 7 week fast. So from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m., I can't eat anything other than fruit or lentil or things like peanuts or cashews. I still can drink water, some juice, but I can't have a real meal. I can eat fruit, a little bit of vegetables, not like a whole dozen of fruits, but I can have like one or two fruits or a little bit of a cup full of fruits and whatnot, and that's fine. I'm gonna do that for 7 days. Then the next week, I'm gonna do it for 6 days, and 5 days, and 4, 3, 2, 1. When I did this last year, maybe it was a couple years ago. Um, Now it's different because before I wasn't working at the time, so I was able to fast and go to the gym for like 3-4 hours. But with fasting, you have to keep busy. You have to be busy. It won't work well when you're stuck at home. Maybe for a day, you can probably get through one day, but consecutively, consistently, just staying home, it doesn't work. You have to be busy. It's best to fast like when you're working, when you're going out and about. So just to stay home doesn't work. So what worked for me was back in like 2 years ago. Um, I'd go to the gym for 3-4 hours, and then come home. Probably like watch a video for an hour or two, or make a video for an hour or two, and that got me through the day. So I would wake up, go to gym around 12 o'clock, ride my bike, go to the gym for 3-4 hours, playing basketball, lifting weights, running, things like that, and go home. By the time I get home, it's like 3 or 4 o'clock. So that leaves only 2 hours that I have to worry about. And those 2 hours or 1 hour is pretty easy. So that's one thing that works for me. Another thing that has worked for me, um, nearly every year, I do challenges. Some years I do a candy challenge where I eat no candy, or eat no bread for a whole year, no rice for a whole year, no pasta for a whole year, etc., etc. No fast food for a whole year. Um, and with that, cutting back on various junk food or sweets I think helps. Just for a year. You want to do it more than a year, you're good. But just doing it for a year, you cut out at least one or two things. And I've seen changes. And after, that year, you're more self-disciplined. I'll still eat certain foods from time to time, but I'm not eating it consistently like I used to. So, doing a yearly challenge, maybe a month challenge, or you say, I will not eat any candy for a whole month, or any particular food, that's fine. It teaches self-discipline. But when those days are over, just because it's over doesn't mean you can just, just ram your face into the foods you miss. You still have to develop some type of self-discipline. Nothing is wrong with eating certain foods from time to time. But it's when we do it over and over again where we have no control of what we're eating. Another thing that has helped me, and I realized, and with fast food, I don't know how some people do it, but people eat fast food like nearly every day during the week. And there was a time when I was in school that I would eat, pizza like every day in school. And that's when I became so fat and overweight. I won't say fat, but I was like overweight. But I've cut down on that. But with fast food, eating it once in a while, once a week, once every other week is fine. I think it's fine. Treating yourself, it's fine. But you gotta realize that, and one thing that also helped me is realizing that these food companies, food restaurants like the McDonald's, Burger Kings, any restaurant, whether you've been there 100 times, 10 times, you spent over $1,000 on their food. None of them, exception to maybe the employees that are working in the front, they may ask you how you're doing. But the corporation itself isn't going to ask you how you're doing. Even the employees will not ask you and tell you, hey, stop eating this food. They're going to order it. They're going to give it to you. They're going to say bye. These corporations, McDonald's, Burger King, etc., even these mom and pop fast food restaurant joints, pizza places, none of them are going to call you and say, how you doing? Because they don't care. They don't care about your health. I'm talking about the corporations, these high and mighty people up at the top. They know that their food is poison and junk. Some fast food may be healthier than others, but generally speaking, a lot of them, the ones on top, they know that their food is junk. They know that their food is poison and toxic. They know that. And they're never going to call you and say, how you doing? How's your health? Never going to do that. Because they don't care. So, to fast and to cut back on fast food places, who cares? They're not going to miss you. These people are not going to miss you. Whether it's a competition between other restaurants or not, they're not going to miss you. They don't care. Whether it's a small restaurant or a big restaurant, they don't care. None of them are calling you to say, how you doing? So you need to not feel bad of not going to these places. If that's how you are feeling when it comes to weight loss and food. And I could say the same for grocery stores. But at least at a grocery store, they're going to have, healthier choices. But when it's a restaurant, they're going to serve you their toxic food. And it's so overpriced. You go to, let's say, McDonald's, you order one meal now. I haven't been there in a while, but let's say I haven't been there like over 5 years, give or take. And you order a basic meal. That's like $20, almost $20 for one sitting of a meal. One sitting of a meal. $20 worth. When you could have gone to the grocery store and get almost the exact thing or the same thing, where you can have multiple sittings. For one meal at McDonald's, you can buy at least 4 burgers, maybe 6 burgers. At the grocery store, where you at least have, that's at least 2 meals right there. At least three to 4 meals right there. For me, I like to have 2 burgers. Some people maybe 1. Two meals right there. 3 more meals right there. $20. You can buy bread for $3, $5, whatever the case may be, depending on where you are. And you can have multiple meals with that. Whether it's whatever you eat, tuna, salmon. It could be cream cheese. That's a sandwich. You could have multiple meals with that. That's why fast food is overrated in a sense. I get fast food if you're out and about, there's nothing else to eat. I get it. It's an emergency. You're hungry. Okay. But to do nearly every day, every week, it's criminal. You're doing yourself, your pocket, your health a disservice. So those are like a few ways, that have helped me eat well and lose weight. Also, the exercising part to it as well, and various exercises that I do. But to lose weight, it starts with the person, you. It starts with you, your mental. That's what it starts with. Fasting, it's not just about the physical. It's about the mental. I've done it for so long that I'm not hungry throughout the day anymore as much as before. When you first start, it's a bit hard, a little bit, but now it's like I go without the day without eating. Some days I go without eating anything. Sometimes even till 8, and I'm fine. So it's that mental part of it as well, and that self-discipline. It's that realizing these restaurants, they don't care about you. They don't care if you're not, buying their food. They're not gonna call you and say how you're doing. How's your health? So to take a break from them, to cut back from them, it's okay. It's okay. Doing little challenges, either for the year or a month, maybe a week, is good. Again, it builds that self-discipline. And also realizing, you're wasting money on one meal when you can buy multiple meals with the same amount of money. And like when you're hungry, one little, I guess, advice is when you're hungry, instead of going to these fast food places, and if you're really that hungry, instead of going to these fast food places to get the typical typical waste of food. Just keep going to the grocery store and buying groceries. If you're gonna spend $20 for one meal, use that $20 at the grocery store and get multiple meals with that. So now, if imagine you go to a restaurant twice, you're pretty much spending $40 for one meal, give or take. You spend $40 in the grocery store, you have at least 8-10 meals that can last you for over at least a week. This is just my advice. You don't have to follow it. It's not for everyone. There's so many various things out there, but end of the day, if you really want to lose weight, it starts with the mental and the self-discipline. Mental and self-discipline. If you have no self-discipline and the mental capacity isn't there, you're not going to get far. You're going to struggle. Maybe there's people who can do without self-discipline. Maybe there is. For me, nothing's ever written in stone and it's like this all the time. Maybe there's someone out there that lost weight without any self-discipline. But this will work for me. Anyways, let the lightning be our sword and the sun be our shield.